Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dustin Ivy. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of participation in voting. Picture this. You wake up on election day and find out that a single vote, maybe your vote, could have tipped the scales on something that directly affects your life. Maybe it's the school your child goes to, the health care plan you rely on, or a local party that affects your neighborhood safety. Now I get it. It's easy to think, what's one vote going to do? I used to feel the same way. I thought, I'm just one person and there are millions of voters out there. But once I started learning about how our system works and seeing what happens when people don't show up, I changed my mind completely. Voting is more than just filling a bubble in on a ballot. It's your voice, it's your power, it's your chance to be a part of something bigger than yourself. And when we don't vote, we're basically saying, you go ahead and decide my future for me. We hand that power over to someone else, someone who might not care about the things that we do. So today I want to break down exactly why voting matters so much. Here's what we're going to look at. First, how your vote is your voice and your power. Second, why democracy literally depends on your participation. And third, how real change, especially local change, starts with casting that ballot. Let's start with the basics. When you vote, you're choosing who makes that decision that changes the shape of your life. The leaders that we elect decide things like how much funding goes into public schools, whether or not healthcare is acceptable, how tax dollars are spent, whether we protect the environment or roll back on regulations. And according to Brennan Center for Justice, your vote helps shape these policies directly. It isn't just about choosing a person, it's about choosing a direction for your community, your state, and your country. But here's the thing. If you don't vote, that choice doesn't go away. It just goes to someone else, someone who does show up, and maybe that person doesn't think the same way you do. Maybe they don't care as much about the issues that you face, and suddenly the policies that affect you are being shaped by people who never walked in your shoes. Voting is how you make your voice heard, and it's how you also hold elected officials accountable. If they're not doing their job, they've forgotten who they work for, we get to show them the door on election day. And yes, politicians are watching. According to multiple studies, elected officials are more responsive to voters than non-voters. That means if you're not voting, you're invisible to the people. But when you show up consistently, they have to listen. Let's talk about democracy for a minute. It's easy to think that democracy is just kind of runs itself, but it doesn't. Democracy only works when people participate. That's the deal. That's the whole point. And right now we're falling short. According to the Pew Research Center, the United States ranks near the bottom compared to other developed countries in voter turnout. We have one of the lowest participation rates among democracies. And the U.S. Census Bureau found that certain groups, especially younger voters and people of color, are consistently underrepresented at the polls. That's a problem because when only a small slice of the population votes, that small group ends up making decisions for everyone. And the result, we get policies that benefit a few, not the many. But when everyone shows up, when we have the high voter turnout across the age, race, income, and background, we get something better. We get government that actually reflects people. That's when democracy starts working the way it's meant to. And honestly, we don't just need to vote. We need to make voting a habit, not just in presidential years, but every time an election rolls around. Because every time we sit one out, someone else's voice gets louder while ours fades into the background. And finally, let's talk about change. We hear it all the time. We need change. Things need to be different. But what does that really mean? It means electing people who fight for what you care about. It means holding them accountable, and yes, it means voting. The people who we elect are the ones who decide whether we take action on climate change or ignore it, whether healthcare is affordable or out of reach, whether we address racial inequality or pretend it doesn't exist. According to the National Civic League, some of the most impactful decisions actually happen at the local level, where voter turnout often is the lowest. School board members, county commissioners, city councils, these people decide what happens in your own background. Think about it. What better public what better public transportation, safety neighborhoods, cleaner parks, more funding for teachers? That all starts with local elections. Your vote helps determine what your community looks like, not just in 5 years, but in 5 months. When we show up and vote, we transform our neighborhoods into places that reflect values. That's not just political talk, that's proven measurable change. So let's go back to that image I started with. Imagine waking up the day after an election realizing you could have made a difference but didn't. Voting is your choice, it's your power, it's your opportunity to shape the world you live in. To sum it all up, your vote gives you a say in who leads and what policies guide your life. Our democracy only works when we all participate. And real meaningful change, especially close to home, starts with your vote. So next time the polls open up, don't sit it out. Don't underestimate the power you hold. Show up, speak up, and cast your ballot, because your vote isn't just important, it's essential, and it matters more than you think.